folks, as I suspected, I went and met the supposed seller of this home run property, and it needed a lot of work, first of all. But the best way I can explain this to you is, if you're brand new out of guru school, you're going to be so frustrated when reality hits you in the face. This guy is brand new. I don't think he knows anything about real estate, period. He just put it under contract. He got the thing under contract at $40,000. Didn't even have a sales pitch for me in terms of how to assign it, how to flip it, whatever. Just said he'd like to make a few $1,000s. And I appreciate that as a new investor. You know, we get him a lot. I understand that. I'm happy for him, but you've got to sell it better than this guy sold it. Pulls up in a beater car. Just had very little professionalism about him. Had a very bad wardrobe on, and just had no answers for me in terms of real questions that you're going to get when you're dealing with an investor. The backyard was a mess. Needed, there's a pool there, but it was 2x4 framing. There was a lot of issues with the property. The big problem was he didn't know what the real value was. He told me it would sell easily for $100,000 fixed up. When the realtor showed up, who actually has the listing, and again, this guy's trying to do a double close or an assignment or something. Again, it's fine, I get it, but the house is worth $70,000 fixed up. It needs anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000. A brand new investor knows nothing about carrying costs or realtor costs, selling costs, marketing costs. So the numbers, even after I said, this is a $20,000 to $25,000 job, if I paid $40,000, just paid him what he had a contract on it for, you're at $65,000. On a $95,000 house, you're going to have $10,000 in carrying costs and selling costs. It's something that an investor may do. At $70,000, I don't know any investor that's going to spend $75,000 on a $70,000 house. There's just too many houses listed for $71,000, $65,000 in that area, and unfortunately, this guy just didn't know what he was doing. Classic case of somebody that went to a guru school or read something on the internet and thought that you can get rich quick with no money, none of your own money. I kept probing him about the inspection because I'm surely not going to pay for an inspection on a property that I don't have a contract on. And I asked him, when he thought he would do it. His problem was he has zero money. So with no money at all, there's no way to pay for an inspection. You're completely dependent on luck. You can buy and sell a house with a little luck. I don't want to say you can't, but if you're going to be full-time, luck isn't going to help you. You're not going to be lucky on every single deal. You got to know exactly what you're doing, and you have to know exactly how to put a deal together, how to buy it right. The only way, in my opinion, that you can buy a house right is if you know what the market value is, subtract out what it's going to cost you to fix up, and then put a profit margin in there. And it can't be 10%. We are buying houses. The numbers don't matter, but we're buying houses, for example, we're paying less than $100,000 for houses that need very little work, that comp out in the 130 to 140 range. So there's no way in the world we're going to walk into a major rehab job and pay 80% of after repair value. It just doesn't make any sense. No one's going to do it. And in this case, I think the number was more like 95. The realtor was pretty adamant that she thought the market value was $70,000 when it was fixed up. Well, that is not a buy and flip market. That is a rental market. So the best thing this guy could do is to flip that thing to someone other than me. He needs to have a list of rental folks that he could go to, that they do their own work, flip that contract to them for $45,000 if he can get it. Let them do the work. They will not spend $25,000 on it. They'll spend $7 to $10 at the most. They don't care about the tile. The tile was, put in by handyman or someone that was doing their own work and it was off center, if as a rental property, no one cares. You know, it's not your house, you don't care. He did not understand that. I didn't freely tell him, he's not one of our folks, but you got to know what you're getting into. And clearly, whoever his mentor was or whatever book he bought did not explain reality. And unfortunately, 95 out of 100 times, that's what we run into. If you're going to pay someone to teach you how to do real estate, I implore you to make sure you're talking to somebody that actually does real estate, not marketing of real estate, not selling books and tapes, someone that knows how to walk into a house and see if it's worth anything. You're not going to get every deal you get because, unfortunately, we don't get to dictate what the price is. The bank gets to tell us. Some deals you just have to walk away from. Unfortunately, as a new student, you don't hear that. You don't hear it enough. What you hear from our group, if you're one of our partners or one of our realtors in our realtor network, what you find out is we walk away from a lot more than we buy, and it's a numbers game. So keep that in mind. In this case, unfortunately, this guy was making all of the most common mistakes that we see every day from these mentor programs. It's frustrating. It makes me mad. Any of you that know me or listened to me in the past know that I'm not a big mentor guy. I'm an everyday average Joe who is a full-time real estate investor and have been for 20-some years. So take that for what it's worth. We look at deals every single day. I hate the fact that I'm sitting here in a car talking to you, but I can't really do this in my office, unfortunately. So this is the time I have to kind of explain it to you. So if you're new, feel free, shoot us an email. Go to our website, sellmyhouse.com or americasbestrehabs.com. There's no such thing as something for nothing. It just doesn't work. If you're paying $49 for something, I guarantee you're not going to learn how to buy and sell a house. You might learn the basics, but you could go spend $15 or read that in a library. The stuff that you need to know and understand is the stuff that you're not going to learn in a book. It's an art. It's not a science. You have to have a gut feeling when you walk into these houses. You have to have an idea who you're selling to, and you can look at our wholesale video that discusses more of that in detail, where it talks about who is your end buyer. In this case, this poor guy had no clue who his end buyer was, because no rehabber is going to buy a house at $40,000, put $25,000 in it, so they can sell it for $70,000. It just doesn't happen. Now, is it possible that he could flip that for $2,500, $3,000, maybe $5,000 at the most to a rental investor? It's very possible. Somebody that does their own work could go in there and the roof was good, the floors were fine, it needed a little bit of work, but for $5,000 to $7,000 could finish the kitchen. That'd be a great little rental property for somebody, and that's exactly what it's going to end up being. But let me tell you what's going to happen. This guy's going to walk away from the contract. Somebody else is going to come in and buy it at maybe less than what he put a contract on it, and it'll be a rental property because it's not an option to be a retail property. So you have to understand that part of it. If you don't, find somebody that knows what they're doing and pay them for their time.